Ready? Anytime.
Hey, we're Melts!
And you're listening to WRSU-FM.
Hi guys, my name's Emily Teubner. I'm the music director at WRSU-FM, and I'm here with the one and only Melt. Woohoo! So, if you guys just want to introduce yourselves and say what you do in the band, and then we'll get going with the questions.
Beautiful. Hello, my name is Veronica Stewart-Fromer. I am the lead singer in Melt, and that's what I do in the band.
Hi, I'm Lucas. I am the bass player in Melt.
I'm Nick, and I'm the saxophonist.
Got some tangling, oh my gosh. So you guys released West Side Highway back in February now, now it's been a minute. So how was it like recording and figuring out and releasing the EP like during the pandemic? Specifically with recording, like how was it super weird like doing it in a pandemic setting?
Lucas, do you want to, yeah?
Yeah, it was definitely strange. When we were writing the songs, we were all quarantined. Well, not all of us. 4 of us were quarantined together in an apartment in New York, and we demoed the songs out. So this was the summer of 2020.
People are getting married over there, and it is precious.
We just like to say congratulations. So when we were demoing out the songs, we were like thinking about a lot of things that were happening with the pandemic. And the recording process afterwards was different than normal, but it was the first time we'd ever really spent a long time in the studio. So we spent about 8 days in the bunker studio, and it was really nice to like just settle in there and be able to work on songs like every day and come back to them and have new perspective.
Yeah.
Pick it up.
I mean, if you've ever seen Melt, like, we are a live band.
Sing it with me, come on. Here we go.
And I think we're all really excited to expand our discography and move in that direction more. But, I mean, for the first, 3 years that we were a band, we only had 4 singles out. So, historically, we're not people to, really focus on that side of our music. And I think the funny thing about the EP is, yeah, we were in New York City. It was, early days pandemic when New York City was getting totally rocked, and you can hear that because usually we write songs and then we tour them and we incorporate audience feedback into our songwriting process, and before we ever hit the studio, that's a huge element of what we do. And this, I think when you listen to the EP, you can hear that it's so clearly us with each other marinating on what's going on, and there is more of an even-keeled vibe, I think. And I love that because I think it will always be that moment in time for us. It's a very nostalgic EP to listen to.
So specifically with West Side Highway, it focuses on the pandemic and New York City. Can you tell us more about the inspiration behind that song and the lyrics and the way it was created, I guess? Yeah.
Yeah, totally. So I started writing West Side Highway on my bike in New York during the beginning of the pandemic. I was delivering groceries with this incredible organization called Invisible Hands, where people were just delivering groceries to neighbors. And I met the most amazing people through the door through doing this. Because we'd be delivering to mostly older neighbors who didn't want to go into a grocery store. And so I was having all these wacky but really heartwarming experiences where I was making new friends with people who lived on my block but I'd never met before through the door as I dropped off their groceries. And I was biking a ton up and down the city to deliver. And I hadn't been living at home in a couple years. I went off to college and would only come home periodically for Thanksgiving, etc. And despite there being a drastically different vibe in New York City than usual, it was so barren and so empty and weird. it was a really sweet moment of homecoming where it was like only the New Yorkers are here and like these are my people. And I think, yeah, I was just overcome with this sense of like being home that I haven't had in a really long time. And so that song is, I kind of think of it as little vignettes of my growing up there. The chorus is about my dad taking my sister and I on like bike rides up the West Side Highway, and my sister would fall asleep in the back of the tandem bicycle that she and my dad would share, and it was so scary for him, but it's always something we chuckle about. So yeah, it's a song about being home, and I think when we wrote it, we started to just play it for ourselves as a lullaby.
I remember that when we were writing this EP, like we would play it after a day of writing a bunch of other songs, because it was just like really nice and peaceful and like felt comforting. And so yeah, it was funny. That's like how it came about, in like while we were working on other songs as well.
Totally. And during this time, Nick was totally bunkered down. So that was a weird experience too, because like you didn't get to be physically with us during that time. I don't know if you have any thoughts on that, but
Yeah. Well, I mean, the song was recorded and released kind of at the height of the pandemic in New York, and everyone felt that in a very profound way, especially people who are from New York. And like I had not seen people in months before we recorded it, and all of a sudden we were together again playing that song, and it felt like a song for New York at a time that like New York was undergoing something really profound. Yeah, so it was just a really interesting, fun process doing it.
So in writing like the future music of Mel, do you guys feel like something new is brewing? Is there any like new, like style changes or like attempts to like look at new genres, or like is there anything in the works, I guess, adding to this like progression of your sound?
yeah.
Nick's got it.
Well, I mean, we're a big band. We have 6 members, used to be 7. And I think everyone has such different backgrounds in music and like tastes in music. And I think it's a great group because everyone's background really comes out in what we play, and everyone sort of has space. So I think we started as like a soul pop band, and now we're playing, there's a song with a heavy metal section, and like we're kind of going in all kinds of different, yeah, like quote unquote, we're getting there. But like, yeah, but there are a lot of influences, and we kind of go in a lot of different directions. And it's really cool. Like it's very collaborative, but everyone has space to kind of take it where we want to go. So yeah.
Oh yeah, go for it. Go for it.
Well, I was gonna say. I think we've been writing a lot of more groovy music, I think, than we did over quarantine. And I really think it's been the effect of playing live shows again. Like we've been like in sound checks sometimes we'll like start working on some new music a little bit if we have a second, and like start putting together ideas. And I think that like we're all really, really big fans of indie rock. That's like a huge influence for us, and like a lot of music we love is in that kind of space, even though we are usually like a more high energy like groove based band with horn lines. So I think we're kind of headed towards somewhere in between that space. It's like those are kind of our goalposts, I guess. I think like soul pop and indie rock. That's how I feel.
Yeah, totally. I mean, bottom line, like we're with live music coming back, I definitely think that that's the energy that's happening for us, and it's happening in a couple different genres. And I think something I love about the band is that we explore and we try not to get too bogged down in being one thing and keeping our fan base, and if they expect a certain thing from us, I think we know that we're going to make the best music we can if we're being true to whatever is coming out of our brains at the moment. And so, yeah, I don't know what's next for us, but it's definitely dancey and loud, I think.
Well, I'm looking forward to that. I feel like we all need a little bit more energy as we're like coming out of this season. I don't know what to call it. So speaking of fans, you guys have a very unique way of like communicating and like talking to your fans and your like listener base through social media, and I think it's cool how like you guys are very transparent about like the tour and just like life in general, and you kind of treat it like a friend group, which is cool. So do you guys have any like specific ways you really enjoy connecting with the people that are listening to your music online?
Yes. We have a group me for people who want to stay in touch, like as friends. The fun thing is that we started, for a lot of us, senior year of high school, and so a lot of the people who will see at shows, we've known them for years now. And so we see the same faces, and that community slowly grows, and we really know people by name and by face now. So it's like when those folks show up, we have a great time with them. So we created this group me to stay in touch and brainstorm ideas for the band. And now we all have, now I'm spilling secrets, but we have exclusive merch with the group me. And so those people will show up in that merch and we can spot them and be like, those are our people. And that's been really fun. We're just kids, you know. I think our favorite part of this is just meeting people and getting to share our life experiences and find release in that with people going through the same stuff.
This performance tonight is almost marking, I think, halfway through the tour for you guys, based on the poster, question mark. Yeah, it was like the second to last one in the first column. Hate to be the bearer of the news, I guess, oops. But I want to hear all about how a tour has been, specifically because you guys like have like a small team and are the ones driving yourselves and doing all the things. How has touring been for you guys? First headlining tour, right?
First headlining
yeah,
tour.
So let's hear about it. Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to pass this off to Nick, who had the most insane day yesterday that I'm going to let you describe it. But I will say we are a small team. We're self-managed. We don't have a label. We drive ourselves. So, yeah, there's a lot that goes into this that's behind the music. Nick?
I mean, well, some of us are still in school. Like, I'm finishing up college, doing my senior year, and Veronica's still in school, and so is Eric. But yesterday, I had 2 midterms that I had to take, so I literally had a Zoom class in the morning, took a 2-hour midterm, then we drove to sound check, drove back, took another midterm, drove to the show and played the show. And then it was just crazy because like just balancing everything has been wild. But like, it's been awesome. Like going from school to this is like such an awesome thing to be able to do because like, but it's wild. It's like a super busy time.
I think it's fun how everyone kind of finds like their like roles on tour and what like part of our like traveling circus vans that like people load in and stuff. Like some people do merch, some people do like sound stuff, and like everyone has like things that they're taking care of. So it definitely feels like a team effort on tour, which has been really nice because I think it helps bring us closer and like feel like we're all doing this together. So
very cool. Do you guys? Oh, we have the rest of the band bombarding. What?
Alright.
And any words to say?
I have a lot of words. What interview question were you on?
Oh, I was gonna ask, do you guys have any like favorite on the road snacks? No, never mind. Next question.
Let's think.
Or like things you do on the car rides. Bagels. Have you had Jersey bagels yet?
Bagels are a meal.
No, it was Rhode Island.
It's not a snack. It's not a snack.
We're a very hungry bunch, and I think we will eat pretty much anything that
Meals.
except
No
for
snacks.
comes in front of our faces.
We have a full leftover lasagna from yesterday in our car. So we'll probably have that later, you know.
Lasagna is the tour snack. You've heard it here first. Oh my gosh. And I think that nears the last question. Yeah, sorry. So what's next for Melt after the tour? I was telling them this is almost marking halfway through the tour for you guys. Tomorrow's the halfway point, right? Yeah. So what can we expect next? If you're allowed to tell us anything, anyone.
Okay. I think that at the moment, at least speaking for myself, I can't even think past the tour because every weekend has been like a black hole of different experiences. Every day has felt like a week, truly. I think that because we're traveling from city to city too, and meeting different people. So I think that by the end of this tour, we will have collected so many more experiences than we have right now. And I don't know what that will look like, and I'm so excited. And after this, I mean, I think we're going to record the new music that we have. We're going to keep playing live shows with our friends and having fun, and we're going to graduate college.
Yeah.
We're going to check that off the list. The people who have that remaining. So who knows what's going to happen next, but we're going to be crazy and do it.
That's it. We got nothing else to add.
Okay, well, this has been a pleasure. This was Just Melt with your lovely host, Emily Teubner from WRSU-FM. And I can't wait for the show. You guys will see pictures of it on the IG, so check that out. But yeah, thank you, and break a leg tonight.
Thank you so much.
Woo! It's recording.